They love illegal aliens there in her courtroom, and she supports bringing and releasing them into our country, even though they're being charged with crimes. Kilmar has been ordered to be released. The ruling from Judge Waverly Krenshaw said, well, there's not clear and convincing evidence that this is going to be a danger to society.
We are criticized, interestingly, by some folks on the right who want the pace of deportations to be higher.
Kilmar Abrego remains in custody. This is despite Judge Zenas' best efforts to get him out because they love illegal aliens there in her courtroom, and she supports bringing and releasing them into our country, even though they're being charged with crimes and have been lawfully deported under due process and immigration courts. But Chad Gilmartin is responding to this. He got a response to Kyle Cheney. Kyle said, Kilmar has been ordered to be released from custody in criminal court and to be returned to Maryland, according to Zenas. But of course, that's going to be short-lived if ICE just rearrests him and then tries to deport him in Baltimore. Okay, so this guy's got a bunch of different cases going on, and we're trying to see who has jurisdiction over what claims and how can they enforce those claims vis-a-vis the other courts that might actually have jurisdiction, and how does it all interface with ICE, and can a Maryland judge issue an injunction for another case in Tennessee, and how is this all going to interface with itself? But the point is, Chad Gilmartin, he is a special assistant to Trump and spokesperson for several people, previously says, Abrego-Garcia remains in U.S. Marshals HQ custody, and here's why. CNN is breaking down some of the other cases into one summary here. Says he's going to remain behind bars for at least a month, even as the judge rejects Trump's claim that he's dangerous, and his co-conspirators say he's dangerous. His wife says he's dangerous. Said that twice in 2 orders of protection where she said he was beating her. A federal judge in Tennessee declined on Wednesday to undo a decision to keep Kilmar in custody. We've read through those. The ruling from Judge Waverly Krenshaw said, well, there's not clear and convincing evidence that this is going to be a danger to society. But another judge, Barbara Holmes, said in another decision that he would remain behind bars for at least 30 more days, granting an unopposed request by his lawyers for him to stay in criminal custody because they're fearful, his own lawyers, that if he gets released from criminal custody, Homeland is just going to send him out. Abrego's lawyers have made their request earlier this week in an effort to ensure removal proceedings as well. Now, Justice Krenshaw, an appointee of Obama, released his ruling. A third judge in Maryland, who is overseeing the case in Kilmar's case in Zenas' courtroom, came out with her own ruling saying that he cannot be removed by ICE, by Homeland, if he is released from criminal custody. Okay, so we've got kind of 3 things happening. So we've got 2 judges in the criminal case. One says we're not going to require him to post bond, or we're not going to hold him in custody. Another judge said, okay, well, we'll just hold him in custody pending ICE. Then this third judge is saying, okay, if you release him from criminal custody, then ICE cannot remove him because Zenas says she's got jurisdiction over here. Okay, so it's 3 judges colluding together to protect one illegal alien from having any consequences at all, just to be clear about that. So you can ask yourself if any American citizen ever in the history of the country has ever gotten the benefit of a judicial conspiracy to protect this guy by each of them taking different parts of the puzzle, okay? One guy says, nope, we can release him. Another guy says, the Judge Barbara Holmes, will hold him until this judge figures it out. She comes in, issues an order that covers their butts. Then she can release the 30 days. Kilmar can come out, can't go anywhere. He's a free man. 3 judges via judicial collusion and a conspiracy obviously is happening right now on behalf of an illegal alien, an MS-13 gang member, one who has a number of co-conspirators who are willing to testify against him by the Trump DOJ, and has a documented record of beating his wife, according to her, not us. That ruling from Judge Zenas, is also an Obama appointee, is going to do 2 things. Restore Abrego-Garcia to the immigration process he was in before deportation. By the way, his due process rights were never violated, and she never even apparently got the A file. No one even has the immigration file in her courtroom. She confirmed that to us. Kilmar's own lawyers don't have it. So we have basically no evidence as far as we know, and that's been our position since we discovered that, yeah, the order actually says Guatemala, not El Salvador. So he was lawfully deported. But here's what Zenas said. She came down in her decision, and you can see it's an 18-pager. We'll just hit the highlights on it just to share what's going on. But she thinks she's in charge now and that she's got jurisdiction over, I guess, all of the country through her power in Maryland. She says, by order of this court, Trump is prohibited from taking Abrego into ICE custody in Tennessee. This judge is in Maryland. Kilmar's not in Maryland. She's got no custody over him at all. And the original lawsuit was about returning him to the United States. He's back in the United States. The original complaint is moot at this point. Must restore him to his ICE order of supervision in Baltimore, so bring him back. She's in charge of the whole nation now. And if they initiate third country removal proceedings, must provide 72 hours business notice to Abrego and his counsel of the intended third country as more fully detailed below. Now, as soon as any of that happens, okay, he'll be out, and then they'll file, as soon as anything happens, they'll file injunctions and immigration proceedings, and those judges will grant stays, and all of this will be extended, and he'll be free in America. Illegally in our country, charged with crimes because several judges are colluding to make it happen. It's pretty sick. So that's Judge Zenas. We know who she is. We've talked a lot about her. She's going to give us her justification. It's all made up. She has no jurisdiction at all. And in conclusion, she's going to say, we conclude that we have to give him modest relief. And so you're ordered to follow my instructions, and Kilmar would be able to assert credible fears, and the whole process starts over. So again, illegal aliens, courtesy of Paula Zenas and Democrat Obama judges, are giving more benefits to illegal aliens, extra due process, redos of all the hearings, and they're working together, 3 separate judges in 3 different locations, although 2 are in the same district court, working together to try to get this illegal alien out and free and running around America. Now, they're very upset. This will really be a token win for them. But what's happening right now is all of their plans to undo the American population and replace it with people who are much more in alignment with their vision for the country are now getting deported and not coming in record numbers. Here's J.D. Vance explaining.
We are criticized, interestingly, by some folks on the right who want the pace of deportations to be higher. And I certainly understand that, frankly, and share that frustration. The counter argument is the courts are trying to stop us at every step of the way. And until about a month ago, we didn't have the resources for ICE to actually get this massive invasion that Joe Biden led into our country. We didn't have the resources necessary to actually process a lot of those people. That has changed because of the big, beautiful bill. We've also gotten some court case wins, so I expect that the pace of deportations will increase a little bit. But importantly, when people criticize us and they say, sometimes I'll hear this criticism, well, the pace of deportations from the Trump administration is actually lower than it was in the Biden administration. And that's actually a completely fake statistic. It's based on the fact that if you come into the country illegally and then the Biden administration processes you and sends you out, that counts as a deportation. It counts as an illegal immigration, and then it counts as deportation. So you have to look at the net number, right? If you do +1, -1, I'm not a math expert, but I'm pretty sure that's 0. The net number is what really matters. And where the Trump administration, where we've been most wildly successful, is that we have, I think in 2025, we will have the first net negative immigration number in about 50 or 60 years in the United States.
Amazing.
So there has been a major shift in immigration policy.
All right. So J.D. Vance, we appreciate that. And it sounds like good progress. And so these judges are really throwing a hissy fit. I think a lot of this is going to be fleeting for them. It's just kind of like them grasping for some meaning, and they want a victory against Trump. And for them, having a gangbanger who invaded our country, trafficked people for a decade, made $1 million breaking the law, groped a bunch of underage, other illegal alien women, girls, and shoved kids on his floorboards, trafficking humans, who was let go by the FBI when the Tennessee police stopped them, caught them red-handed doing exactly that, and now they're free running around.